Welcome to December 4th, 2023. Bitcoin yesterday cracked the $42,000 mark. Roughly three major events are projected to catalyze the price of Bitcoin and potentially kick off the next crypto bull market. First off, there's an expected approval of spot BTC ETFs, meaning that more ordinary investors are going to be able to purchase Bitcoin. It'll be open on ETFs, which are a collection of equities. So where there are a number of investments that are pooled together. So that's expected. I believe the name of the organization, One Financial Institution, is projecting to have $70 billion get pumped into Bitcoin once this approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF in early January. So that's what's driving the price right now, and very well may get it to $50,000. Now, there's also a pending Bitcoin halving sometime in early April, late March, or perhaps early May. The Bitcoin halving basically is something that happens every single 4 years when the reward to mine Bitcoin. So once a miner harvests some Bitcoin, and the way that a miner harvests a Bitcoin is by performing a calculation to basically log another transaction using Bitcoin onto the blockchain, then that miner earns a certain amount of reward. When Bitcoin was launched back in 2009, that reward was 50 Bitcoin. Once there was the first halving in 2012, the reward dropped from 50 Bitcoin to 25 Bitcoin. Then in 2016, the reward dropped from 25 to 12.5. In 2020, the reward dropped from 12.5 to 6.25, and now it'll drop to 3.125 sometime in early April. You're probably looking around April 14th or something to that effect. And then, of course, once that happens, since the reward drops, then the amount of new Bitcoin in the system drops, and supply and demand. If you've been watching the channel for some time, you know that when there's less of something, it costs more. That's the reason that why gold is a store of value and now Bitcoin is a store of value, because there are no central banks that are manipulating the amount of Bitcoin or currency in the system. They just can't start to pump it into the system whenever they want. That's what has caused all these inflationary predicaments that we encounter today, because you see eggs that they were about to get $30 a piece because the Federal Reserve had pumped all that money to buy securities. What's up, Frida? Thanks for logging on. That's what prompted the Federal Reserve when they were buying securities left and right, when they're buying up all of these bonds, corporate bonds from all of these Fortune 1000, Fortune 500 companies, all these public organizations, to ensure that there was a V-shaped recovery and didn't tank completely. And while they were forcing mom and pop shops to close down left and right, so they were helping all of these organizations do that. And that's called quantitative easing. Now, some people are projecting, you may hear that they're going to get back into this quantitative easing. And what happens is that also may trigger a bull market, not only in crypto markets, but also in traditional equity markets, such as the stock market, because you have all this new capital flowing through the system, and then there's more credit. Interest rates start to drop. There's more credit in the system, but the value of the money that you have, it actually drops, which is a use case for Bitcoin. That's why people roll to it, because if the interest rates drop, then there's less opportunity for you to earn money back from your investments into money market accounts and CDs and all this other stuff. So anyway, so the major catalyst right now that's expected, first off, again, the pending approval of the BTC ETF. So what that does is going to allow institutional investors to start to invest in Bitcoin. It's different from BTC ETF futures, where they basically bet against the price of Bitcoin and they don't actually own Bitcoin. These BTC spot BTFs, hopefully I said that correctly, BTC ETFs, they will actually own Bitcoin. There'll be financial products that actually own Bitcoin. So they'll be backed by Bitcoin, and you're going to get a lot of new money. Glassnode is the institution that performed the analysis, and they found that $70 billion of new money will go into Bitcoin. Package that with that halving that I just discussed. And this halving is going to continue every single 4 years. So people have that in mind. Or when around 210 new Bitcoins are pumped into the system. Initially, they pumped half of the Bitcoin supply, and the Bitcoin supply is like around 21 million. And half of the Bitcoin supply, once it was launched back in 2009, it was out. And then they launched it by the time it was 2012. Like I said before, they cut the rewards in half, and they're about to do that again in half. Once they cut that, again, it gets more scarce, and it's an inflationary measure, or rather a deflationary measure to stop the inflation of the coin to ensure that it keeps its price up, and that's going to continue to drive the price up through the next year. And remember, it's also an election cycle, so that may be another major catalyst that will propel the price of Bitcoin and thus the crypto market. When there's a bull market in the crypto space, Bitcoin with the highest market cap, it always takes the lead. So you always find that in previous presidential cycles, the price of Bitcoin starts to go up through the presidential cycle and after the presidential cycle. Probably go up regardless, nonetheless, but that's something also that's being seen as a catalyst to the price movement. And if we get quantitative easing, I have not been able to find a source that substantiates that there'll be any quantitative easing. As of right now, the Federal Reserve has remarked that they will determine how they will structure monetary policy on a meeting by meeting basis. So if they perform any type of rate hike, it'll probably be around 25 basis points the next time around. They may not perform a rate hike at all, but they may start to see that they may want to start to drop the interest rates. And of course, you get into that quantitative easing measure. But as of right now, they're actually dropping the amount of money that they're adding to the portfolio, rather dropping the amount of equities that they've added to the portfolio. They're just selling all this stuff off. When is a good time to invest in BTC? Listen, I'm throwing all my chips, well, all the chips that I'm willing to throw at it, not financial advice, simply what I'm doing. It's just it's not that much right now. It's about 5 large or whatever. And that was down actually like around 2 large, and it doubled in a few months. I wasn't even paying attention to it. For those who've been watching my channel, thank you so much. And I commend you for everyone who's hopped on a premium packaging and watched everything that we've done thus far. You may know that I got into the crypto space looking for crypto grants. In other words, airdrops. I showed you a few videos. If you jump through my library, you start to query, you see some of the airdrops that I won by participating in the Gitcoin grants, I believe round 8 or round 9, where you simply had to perform a deposit in contributing towards someone's Gitcoin campaign. Just to give you an overview of what that is, it's kind of like GoFundMe, but with crypto. So you basically set up a Kickstarter type of campaign right on Gitcoin, and what happened was you raise funds for it. So let's say you want to drop an educational system that you can do. You can do this. I've discussed this like on my Broke Do This video that you could find in our library. You can start to take a look at the type of content that people are viewing that is also related to your niche, related to your vertical. And then you drop some content on it. That could be something educational on crypto, for instance, and you could basically start to pool money through a Kickstarter type campaign right on Gitcoin. And you start to collect money via Ethereum. And I think they have other forms of cryptocurrency that you take, and you start to get that money together and use it towards setting up your education. Now, I did not set up one of those Kickstarter-like campaigns on Gitcoin. I simply donated to several other people's campaigns. So you could also enjoy potential airdrops just by contributing towards somebody else's campaign. I think it was probably worth around $3,000 worth of airdrops. And as you very well know, this channel, it focuses on various types, grants for everyone, as I've said time and time again, of grants. So we didn't solely focus on these types of cryptocurrency grants. However, I was a recipient by simply participating. Now, I've also participated in there's a bunch of crypto that I've got all over cyberspace that I haven't even looked up yet, that I've gotten for free most of all, because I've simply, I've probably donated or participated with the protocol with a couple of bucks or whatever the case may be. And next thing you know, I get free money. So we'll definitely be covering that. Let me know in the comment section in the chat if you want to hear more about that. But I mean, not financial advice, simply what I am doing. BTC looks like it's going to continue to go up. It may pull back a bit since it hit 42 grand last night, if I'm not mistaken. It was yesterday. It was December. No, it's actually today. Today is 6:10. I'm not sure what time this is. I'm looking at CoinGecko right now. It reads 6:10 in the morning. It cracked 42 grand. So based off other indicators, it may not be too hard for it. All right, we'll drop it then, Sherry. It may not be too hard for Bitcoin to crack that $50,000 mark in 37 days, basically by January 1st, which again is just another catalyst to drive the bull market into its next phase. Now, I'm looking at an exit of potentially 2025, where I'm looking at projections of $200,000 Bitcoin. So that's about 8x. Now, there's going to be more life-changing money. In other words, higher returns if you also start to take a look at altcoins. There's something where some people, they're taking a look at some altcoins and they're going into a pump. They're waiting for it to pump to a certain amount of money. They take their money right out. So we'll go ahead and cover some of that stuff as we delve into it. I mean, like I said, I didn't pay much attention to it, but now that I see that it's almost, I'm almost looking at it, it almost guaranteed that in about, again, 37 days, I don't think there's anything stopping Bitcoin from hitting that 50K mark, because if Glassnode, and there's like a $17.7 trillion, I think the $17.7 trillion, let me go ahead and perform a query for it real quick. Well, look, take a look right here. Maybe you could see this while I got it open right here. This is James Seyffart. Say fart, right? Anyway, he says that he dropped a screenshot of a call for rebuttals from the SEC, if I'm not mistaken, Sherry R. Haywood, and they said that they're calling for rebuttal comments by January 5th, 2024. So if they're calling for rebuttal comments, they very well may be able to approve all these applications for Bitcoin spot ETFs by January 10th, sometime in early January. I don't think they're going to drop it. And I was also seeing some reports where sometimes they may even issue the approval for spot BTC ETF even prior to accepting the rebuttal comments and doing all this other stuff that they have to execute prior to issuing that approval. So again, once that happens, you are going to get more financial institutions investing into Bitcoin. And that's what drives the price of practically any equity up, is when financial institutions, they start to buy equities in bulk. When you see prices of stock, they gap up, they increase, it's because financial institutions are buying blocks. They're buying, hundreds of thousands, millions of shares in a particular organization. And of course, you see all this money going into it, and you see the stock price of a particular, and you see the volume at the same time during the pricing action. We'll get more into that as we cover TA more on a granular level, technical analysis. So you'll be able to see the price movements. And the price movements of Bitcoin at this particular juncture, it's replicating what it did prior to the last bull run. And of course, the halving, which is going to be huge. I saw one report. This is probably like on longer time period. They didn't say how long it would take, but I was seeing like a $5 investment in Bitcoin is going to turn into 150,000. But that's across, I don't even know. It's probably too long for me to measure. I mean, I want to take a look at the other opportunities available in these altcoins. For instance, it looks like there's some opportunity in Solana. It has, it's like an infrastructure protocol upon which other protocols are buildings, just like Ethereum. Nonetheless, it's more cost effective. So there are a number of reasons why a number of people are taking a look at Solana. Solana's also enjoyed substantial growth. We'll go ahead and take a look at it real quick. Solana right here, Sols. Yeah, right now I think it's like a $60. Yeah, $60.96, down 3%. But I mean, it's been clicking because it was just a minute ago. It was like at $20 right here. So yeah, it was like 20 bones the other day, right here. Yeah, so it was $20. It was sideways motion, sideways action from March all the way to October at around 20 bones or so. Then it just rocketed up to 63. There's price projections in around the $250 to $400 range, which is pretty chill. But you also want to take a look at opportunities in the gaming space, crypto gaming, because, I mean, these are new projects that are going up. They're shooting up on a regular basis. I'll drop some calls. Just click the subscribe button, click the bell notification. Also, join our Discord. We got a free Discord where I'm dropping the specifics on what the alpha, but it's not, you know what? It's science, it's gems. Forget alpha. The science on everything that I'm putting together, all the content that I'm aggregating. I'll also be linking you to reports that substantiate everything. I'm a journalist by craft, so I want to ensure that I'm able to back up everything that I'm telling you right now with as much data as possible. We're going to get scientific on this channel, as we always do, to ensure that we get you all the most accurate content and you're able to provide for your loved ones and the people for whom you are responsible. So those are the key things you want to keep in mind. The other thing, again, is the presidential election, quantitative easing. If the Federal Reserve institutes quantitative easing again, which is basically pumping more money, pulling out the money printer and start to pump more money and add to its portfolio by buying equities in the same fashion that it triggered the V-shaped recovery at the onset of the pandemic, where you're getting all these inflationary predicaments that we are encountering on a daily basis, eggs at $60 a piece and stuff like that. So if they do that, that's going to pump more money into the system, and it may catalyze the price of Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto markets. Of course, there's going to be more access to credit. Some people may use that credit to invest, potentially a wise thing to do, and you'll see more money pumping into all types of systems, and it may trigger a bull market, not only in the crypto markets, but in the traditional equity markets. So I have not found many reports substantiating quantitative easing. If you find a report, go ahead and let me know. We'll substantiate it, and that'll be 4 events that may catalyze the price of Bitcoin and the next bull market. But, I mean, it's almost a shoo-in. Not financial advice. Again, I'm looking at it as it's where I don't see anything stopping the price of Bitcoin moving well into the 50 grand mark and beyond, into the early 2024. And these bull cycles, they typically last around 2 years. So you could probably hold on to this thing. I mean, I'm projected to potentially, any Bitcoin that I have, I'll probably maybe take some out and use that to hop on some altcoins or whatever. But I've got more money. I mean, it's all over the place. I don't even know. I got like this app, OP, which is Optimism. At one juncture, the thing is, I got these airdrops, this free crypto, and sometimes the wisest thing to do is to sell it once you get it, because it'll take a long time for it to recover. So that's one thing that I learned through this entire ordeal. So I'm looking at Optimism right now, OP. You can take a look at my library, and you'll see where I showed you, when I showed you that I won about $1,000 worth of OP. I think it was even worth more at the time, because if I look at the max right here, I can't switch back and forth. I'm gonna have to learn how to do that if I'm able to do that here. it was all the way at what? Right now it's at 178, and I got all this stuff for free, right? Quote for free. I had to learn how to participate in the campaigns. Go ahead, gentlemen. Oh, we about to. Chris, go. Hurry up. Get your stuff going. I got to sign up for this thing right here. And we'll get at it. Join the Discord. I got the link in the description. I'm about to get a cut real quick. And we'll jump on it. Out.